Hey guys, let's talk about episode 7 of HUGTTO PRECURE, and I want to say that this episode is my favorite HUGTTO episode so far, and this is saying much because we had the amazing episode 4, but this episode was not as good as episode 4 in this huge amazing way with animation and development. But there were lots of small things that made this episode the best episode so far for me, and I want to talk about it here. Anyway, this episode was Saya's episode, and it was nice because they changed the introduction. This time, Saya was the one that was talking about the HUGTTO world for us. She was the one that was presenting the episode for us, and I loved it. And I love that each girl will have her own moment in showing us the episode. Anyways, this was Saya's episode. It was due because she had no focus at all so far, and I really enjoyed it. Not only because it was about Saya, but because the development was so good and there were so many great things about it. First of all, we learned last episode, episode 6, that Saya was a child actor and she was very famous for the role that she did in a commercial. And because of that, she has a rival that wanted to have the spotlight Saya had when she was a child. But when she was a child, she was very famous and all, but after that, nothing really happened and she couldn't land other roles, and she slowly stopped doing the actor roles, right? She stopped doing actor work. Basically, she stopped acting. Anyway, so we got to learn a little bit more about Saya, and we got to learn that she was trying to audition for the main character of a play. And that's nice because we barely see theater in anime, right? So it was really nice. We also learned about her mother, Saya's mother. I forgot her name, Reira. Reira, I can't forget this name because it's Reira. This is a very beautiful name. I love this name. It reminds me of Reira from Nana. I loved Reira. I loved Trap Nest. Nana was amazing. Anyway, so we saw her mother. She's stunningly beautiful and she's very talented. We also got to know Saya's father. And another thing that I have to notice, first of all, I love that her father was the one cooking, her father was the one taking care of home, and he was cooking a super spicy curry, and that's one thing that Saya loves. And I love this contrast between this shy, angelical girl that loves those things that are so out of what we would expect for her. I love it, and that's a nice touch that they are giving Saya's character that they weren't before when we were introduced to her. We didn't know about those details, and I'm loving this discovery of her character and her personality and things that she likes. I am loving it, and they're doing a great job. So in this episode, we got to meet this rival, Saya's rival. Not really a rival because Saya doesn't really like competing. So, but this girl, she really wants to take Saya's place. She really wants to be famous. I love that she's very driven. She's very focused on acting and becoming a famous actor as well. And I liked that about her character. And she has the Ojo-sama laugh. And I love Ojo-sama laughs. You can say, like, if the character has an Ojo-sama laugh, I am gonna like that character. That's a rule for me, and she has that laugh. And Homare did such a nice remark saying, do people actually laugh like that? And I'm sorry, Homare, but that laugh is the best laugh ever. And so we got to learn a little bit more of Saya's own struggles within herself. She's a great actress. It seems that she's good at acting, but at the same time, with all of the pressure that's been put onto her because she's the daughter of a very famous artist, she can't deal with that very well, and then she can't act in front of other people. She had a very beautiful scene, and I love how they animated that. She took off her shoes, she took off her socks, and she went on in a pond, and she acted there all by herself, creating that illusion of an angel, because that was the character that she was playing. That was very powerful, it was very beautiful, and I loved that. And the girls were watching, but she didn't know about that. And I loved that the fact that she completely got out of herself. She went into the water And she wasn't thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna get myself wet, I'm gonna ruin myself. And no, she wasn't. She was just thinking about the character that she was, and she got really into it. But she was alone. There was no one to watch her, and so she was able to act. But when Hana and Homare they appeared, Saya she was completely blocked and she couldn't act anymore. But I really liked that scene. It was so beautiful. Everything about that scene was beautiful. Her acting was great. The visual representation of her acting was really well done with the angel wings appearing. Beautiful metaphor. And I loved the way the girls talked to each other. I mean, I'm loving their friendship, and I'm loving that they're all very supportive of each other. You know, I'm really liking that, and they really stand by each other. And the girls playing with water, oh my god, that was so beautiful, and it was so beautifully drawn and animated. I loved that. I really did. And then we got to another nice scene, and probably one of my favorite scenes in this episode. Papiru, our favorite villain, and I'm sorry, she's not only my favorite villain, she is the best villain, and this episode proved that. Doesn't really matter what she's gonna do in the future, but this episode proved that, and I mean, there's no other way to say it. She is the best. I mean, the girl was there working, but her boy toy was calling. She wanted to meet her boy toy, and she just went on to Lulu and said, Lulu girl, work for me. I'm gonna meet my boy toy. I'm gonna have some fun. And Lulu was like, boy toy? I don't know what's that. And then Papiru had to, you know, make her language more accessible to Lulu, and she used the word boyfriend, kareshi in English, like the lover. That's a different thing. That's a kind of different thing, but Lulu kind of got the message. And, you know, Papiru girl, you represented. You really represent it. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. You have a boy toy waiting for you and you're gonna work? I mean, we have to work. I can't leave work for that, but if I could choose, I would meet my boy, you know? Obviously. Girl, you represented and you are the best. And it was funny because she was like, oh, you don't understand that now. She was talking to Lulu and you don't understand that now. You don't. But you might get it later when you're older. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Lulu is gonna become a cure later on, so no, she's not gonna learn about that. She is gonna be forever innocent. I'm sorry, Lulu. I'm so sorry for you. But that's the destiny of a precure, unfortunately. That's probably the downside part of being a cure. You're gonna be innocent forever. You're gonna be stuck with 13, 14 years forever because you're gonna have to appear in All Stars. Anyway, so Lulu was the villain of the week. I loved her scenes as being a villain. I really liked her UFO. It was so over the top and kind of like ridiculous in a very good way. I loved that. And I really liked her scene when she created the Oshimaida, when she summoned the Oshimaida. It was so beautiful, and there was this little dance animation based on the, you know, those arcades, the dance arcades, like Dance Revolution, when you have like the places that you have to step when you're dancing, like Pump It Up or Dance Revolution. So there was this influence, like connecting Lulu to the dance, you know, connecting her to the idea of a dance, and brilliant. And the animation was so beautiful. I loved that. But before that, Saya was there on her audition. She was very nervous. The girls found a way to help her. Again, Harry was dissed, and I love that. Harry is just there to be humiliated all the time, and that's his character, and I love that. And you know, Hana and Homare, they found a way to help her. I loved that. I loved how much they support each other. You know, that's a good friendship there. You know, I'm just loving their friendship. They're like family. And I just loved how she was able to act. She was able to do it in a good way. And then we had the confront with Oshimaida, and Lulu is another great villain. She's not better than Papa, obviously, but Lulu, she was gorgeous. She was just gorgeous in this episode. She was so fierce in her observations. You know, she was talking about Curiel. She was praising Curiel because Curiel was very strong. She was also praising Cure Etoile. Cure Etoile is also very strong, but she has a problem with an emotion and she's weak. It got her weakened a little bit. But then when it came time to talk about Cure Anje, Lulu just destroyed her, you know, and she just spoke the truth. Nothing more than the truth. She just said, okay, Cure Anje, she is a weak Cure. She can't do shit. I mean, she didn't say that. She is weak. Her combat abilities are low, and her heart feather is just a ridiculous power because it gets destroyed by Oshimaida. Girl, you did it. You said what I was saying since episode 2, and you know, I think that you said what everyone wanted to say. Lulu girl, you are very analytic. You have good observation skills, amazing observation skills. Gorgeous. I love that shade. I loved that shade. I loved it. Anyway, so when it came down to the actual fight, obviously the girls couldn't handle the monster at first time, but Cure Anje, with all that happened to her and her newfound motivation, she was able to power up her heart feather. She was able to summon a new Mirai crystal, and she's probably going to use that in the future with a new power. I can't wait because those heart powers, they're just ridiculous now. And heart feather was buffed. She was able to perform a stronger version of it. It was still not strong enough, but I really liked that scene. I really liked the background music in that scene. It was really emotional. And she was able to throw heart feather at the monster. For the first time, it actually did something. You know, it actually was kind of powerful. Not powerful enough to defeat the monster because she's weak, and she is weak, but it was powerful. It was just enough to, you know, stop the monster a little bit for Yale to defeat it. Because obviously Curiel has to defeat the monster. Okay, so Anje, Saya, wasn't able to get the role she wanted, but it was a very important step for her because she doesn't really know if she actually wants to be an actress, but that's something that it's still on her mind, and she's still trying it out to see if that's what she really wants to do. So, you know, all those things happening in this episode, I think they all added to the amazing experience that was episode 7 for me. The best episode so far, in my opinion, even though we didn't have like this epic fighting moment, but I really liked the development of the characters. I really liked seeing lots of nice details they put here and there, and that's what I love about Precure in some seasons and some episodes. You know, they can do such a good writing with very few details that they put here and there. You can really see that they're thinking about what they're doing, and they're putting their heart and their emotion into what they're doing, you know, and I loved that. And right at the end of the episode, we have the bridge to the next episode that's gonna be about Homare and Yurio from Yuri on Ice. So I'm very excited for next episode. I'm very, very excited for that next episode. I think it's going to be not as good as this one, because, you know, Saya really captured my heart, and there was Papuru in this episode. I don't know who's going to be the villain in the next episode, but if it's Papuru, we're on to a great episode. No matter what happens, we're on to a great episode. Sorry for the long video, but I really wanted to say it all. And anyways, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion? Did you like this episode as much as I did? And thank you very much for watching. And until next time, bye-bye.